Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of Season 10 of Supernatural, which I, of course, have right here. I have now bought all the DVDs that are available of Supernatural. I also bought Season 11 yesterday, which I just started watching. And so I'm not going to make this review like an hour long or anything. I'm going to try and keep it about 15-20 minutes or so. I know I've said that before and it's gone about, double that. But I'm going to try to keep it a bit shorter this time. So Season 10 of Supernatural, really good. I'm going to go into more detail for sure, but again, I talk about this in pretty much every Supernatural video now, but still, those people who say the show went to shit after, Season 5 are just completely wrong. Season 6 I still thought was pretty good. I'm not saying it was better than 5 or anything, but it's still pretty good. 7, it's probably my least favorite season, but I still thought it was, fine. 8 was better. 9 was arguably even better than that, and 10 is about on the same level as 9 for me. Although I might have a slight preference for 10, I'm not sure. But still, nonetheless, I think Supernatural's a damn awesome show, and I'm also really liking what I've seen about Season 11 so far. But yeah, I think I can pretty safely say, as I've been saying pretty much since I started reviewing the show, that it's probably my favorite show of all time now, to be completely honest. I still kind of have a heart for the US sci-fi version of Being Human, so it's probably either Being Human or Supernatural. But the show is just so damn consistent, I think, man. It's really, really something. For a show to be as long-running as it is and to still be as constantly or consistently entertaining and fairly creative with the way they come up with storylines and such, I think it's a really impressive thing. And, the characters, Sam, Dean, Castiel, Crowley, pretty much everyone, they're just really well-acted out characters. It's really something to behold. Of course, this season started off with the cliffhanger ending of Season 9, of course, with the Mark of Cain thing coming to fruition. The finale of Season 9 is great, with, of course, Dean supposed to being killed and such, and of course you got that, cliffhanger, with Dean turning into a demon, his eyes opening and, them just being completely black. It was really well shot. Just the way they did it with, no music, you just hear the eyelids open. It gave you, a very, empty, sort of hollow feeling to seeing Dean wake up like that. His, actual demon persona wasn't, quite as scary, I don't think, as that final shot made it out to be. But still, Demon Dean is nonetheless, pretty entertaining, pretty badass. You gotta give it to him. The one gripe I have though is that it only lasted 3 episodes, and I found that a little bit odd. It's sort of like with Castiel, when he sort of played God temporarily, before the Leviathans, had taken him out of the picture for a while. That only lasted an episode or 2 as well. But I feel like they could have really had this Demon Dean thing go on for a while longer. I'm not saying for the whole season or anything, but maybe half of it, or maybe at least the first 8 or 10 episodes or something, I think would have been a little bit better. I think they could have done a bit more with Dean being like this, I'm not really sure why they decided to stop it so soon. Although the Mark of Cain, the issue doesn't completely go away, it's still a possibility throughout the season that a demon could revert back to that. He has these violent urges still. So it's not completely removed. It's not a completely removed element from the show, which did help a little bit. But still, I think they could have kept Demon Dean running around a little bit longer. But it was pretty entertaining, seeing him and Crowley, having fun together and stuff. But Crowley even supposedly being somewhat intimidated by Demon Dean. We also get this introduction to this new reoccurring character named Cole. He's a former military guy, and he is after Dean. He's been looking for Dean for years for killing his father years ago. I forget what kind of monster he was, but his father was some kind of monster. and then when he finds Dean, because Dean's Demon Dean, he pretty much lives up to exactly what he thought Dean would be like. And they have a pretty cool fight scene within the first couple of episodes, as far as choreography goes and such. I thought it was pretty cool. Even though Dean's a little bit more aggressive than he would be, because if he was his normal self, he'd want to hold back a little bit more, not to hurt the guy as much. But still, it really showed how skilled of a fighter Dean actually is. So I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, now let's go through the episodes. So yeah, like I said, the premiere is pretty good with the Crowley and Dean stuff. Again, there's gonna be tons of things I miss. I'm just gonna generally comment on each episode. Otherwise, it would take way too long. Second episode is fine for along the same reason. And then I like the second episode too, because we have that sort of a Shining style chase with Dean trying to find Sam in the bunker and such, before Sam is finally able to trap him. So I like that. Episode 3, that's when Sam's able to actually supposedly cure Dean. Of course, Dean does break out a little bit in episode 3 as well. But of course, they're able to use that human blood trick like they sort of used on Crowley. I may have gotten some details wrong about that. I might have forgotten some stuff. But still a good episode. Episode 4, Pay for Moon. We see the return of the Kate character. If you guys remember, she was on that found footage werewolf episode back in season 8. Bitten, which I thought was actually a pretty good episode. Of course I would love to see Dean and Sam a little bit more, but they have to do some different stuff in their episodes once in a while, so I thought that was a fine episode, and it's kind of cool to see her again, them actually bring back characters from different cases. It's always good, I think. At first they're worried about her, that she's actually gone off the rails and killed like she said she wouldn't, but it turns out to be this whole story with her protecting her sister, whom she also turned and such. So it turned into a pretty good one, and she of course is forced to put her sister down in the end, and she's kind of off on her own again. So we might see her pop up again, who knows. So yeah, good episode. Episode 5, fan fiction. This is one I had heard about like a while ago, that people really love this episode, and I can see why. It was a damn good episode. Really different episode too, really. When Dean and Sam investigate the mysterious disappearance of a teacher at an all-girls school, they are shocked to find a musical being adapted based on the Carver Edlund Supernatural series. So they've actually made a play out of the Supernatural books, have been put out there, and everyone's been seeing them and such. So it's pretty funny. They have pretty much all girls dressed up as characters. We have someone dressed up as of course Sam and Dean, and we also have one dressed up as Bobby in a wheelchair, one dressed up as Mary, even John. So it's pretty funny, and I sort of like the lead girl as well. Let me see if I can find her name. Yeah, Marie. I liked her quite a bit, and some of their songs are actually pretty good. I like A Single Man Tear. It was good. And then their version of Carry On My Wayward Son was actually really good, I thought. So yeah, it was a pretty good episode. And then we seen Chuck at the end, who definitely has more importance to him than we know at this point. But in a previous episode, we did see him vanish into thin air, so we know there's more behind him than just being a prophet and a writer and such. But yeah, so good episode for sure. I can see why it stood out to people. Episode 6, Ask Jeeves. This is an alright episode, definitely not one of the best in the earlier part of the season, but it was alright. Again, I just can't go into detail about every episode, but it was fine. It's Supernatural, so. Episode 7, Girls, Girls, Girls. Sam and Dean are on a hunt for a witch that has been killing demons. Castiel and Hannah encounter someone from Hannah's vessel's past. And this causes Hannah. Hannah was sort of being built up as potential love interest for Castiel. They even share a kiss at one point. You can tell there's feelings between them, but Hannah starts to feel bad that she pretty much stole her vessel's life in a way. And, so eventually she, leaves the vessel and, lets her go back to her life. This causes Castiel to remember, what happened to Jimmy Novak, his vessel, and causes him to think of his daughter again and such. And this leads into a bigger part of the story in the season. So pretty good episode. Hibbing 911, episode 8. This is at a sheriff's retreat, with this whole vampire setup as well. We meet Alex Jones in this episode, who I thought was actually a pretty good character. And, I thought it was actually a somewhat interesting dynamic with Alex, being this vampire lure and such, and also the mother figure she had. I thought it was good. Then Jody at the end of the episode is able to take her in. So I like this one. I hope we see Alex again. Episode 9, The Things We Left Behind. Castiel tracks Jimmy Novak's daughter, Claire, to a group home and breaks her out. When Claire runs away from him, Cass seeks out 17's help in finding her. And Crowley confronts his mother, Rowena. And we'll talk about Rowena in a second. But this is a pretty good episode. I really like the actress they picked to play Castiel's daughter, Claire, or, Jimmy's daughter, but, I think she does a good job, so I like that we're seeing her as often as we are. This is a good episode, seeing the dynamic at the home and such. And as far as Rowena goes, she's okay, I guess. I mean, I definitely didn't expect her as a witch to turn out to be, Crowley's mother. Her and Crowley do sort of have some fun banter and a entertaining dynamic throughout the season, but I wish I could take Rowena more seriously than I do. I know she's not supposed to be totally serious all the time, but I feel like they could have taken a different approach for Crowley's mother. I don't know. But yeah, next episode, which was episode 10, The Hunter Games. 17 try to get information out of Metatron on how to remove the mark of Cain. Castiel continues to attempt to build a relationship with Claire, who wants revenge for the death of her friend Randy. And that's another thing about episode 9. Dean ends up massacring everyone, just slaughtering them, which is really a good scene. This is a good episode as well. Again, I just can't go into detail about all of them. It was fine seeing Metatron as a reoccurring character, I guess, although I don't think he's the best villain of the series or anything, really. He's played well, I'll give him that. Episode 11, There's No Place Like Home. Charlie returns from Oz, and then we have this darker version of Charlie running around as well, sort of like her other half. That sort of makes her that more neutral, balanced person. So I thought this was a fun one. It's good to see Charlie again. Felicia Day is pregnant, by the way. She just announced it, so that's cool. But yeah, I like this episode. We got some good concentration on Charlie, which is even more important later on, so I like this one. And her and Dean definitely have a good, older brother, sister, little sister dynamic going on, so I like that as always. Episode 12, About a Boy. Dean is transformed into a teenager, appears to offer a solution of the Mark of Cain issue. Because the mark disappears when he's turned into this younger version of himself. However, while hunting down the witch that transformed him, he'll need to make a choice: stay a teenager or return to being the bearer of the Mark of Cain. So this is kind of funny, of course, I would like to see Jensen Ackles more in the episode, but seeing the younger version of himself and Sam's reaction to it, it was pretty entertaining for sure. Excuse me. And I thought the older lady, I think it was Hansel. No, the guy was Hansel, excuse me. And, it sort of goes into a more twisted story about Hansel and Gretel and such. They kind of, briefly mention it. And Katja, this fat old witch, she was pretty creepy, so this is a fun episode, and when Dean is turned back into his adult self, it's pretty epic when he's just able to kick their shared asses, so that's cool. So episode 13, Halt and Catch Fire. 17 are on a hunt that involves a vengeful spirit killing college students through electronics and the internet. This is a pretty good one. Not the best, but something a little bit of a different spin with the spirit thing, so I thought it was fine. Episode 14, The Executioner's Son, very, very good episode. We get to see Kane again, and again, I really like Kane. The actor who plays him, I think they picked the right type of guy for it. So we get that confrontation between Kane and Dean, and the fight's pretty cool, pretty brutal. Dean doesn't really get too many shots in, but he reminds Kane that he had told Dean, to kill him, after all the violence he had committed again, because he knew what type of person he turned into. He tries to remind Kane of that, but of course Kane is just too blinded by, what he sees now, with Mark taking him over again. And Dean does put him down in the end. And this also had Crowley, being told by Rowena that he can't trust the Winchesters, and they don't give him the blade back in the end. But Crowley still does have a thing for him. He still does care about Dean, whether he admits it or not. But yeah, so this is a good episode. It was unfortunate that Kane was killed off. As I said, I just really liked how he's played and such. But it's supernatural. Maybe we'll see him again. Episode 15, The Things They Carried. We're looking into a strange murder. Sam and Dean run into Cole, who reveals he has a connection to a suspect. While investigating, the three learn that they're dealing with an offshoot of the conworm when Cole is infected by it. If I remember right, they also had this conworm back in season 6. I think that was like the final episode with like Samuel and everything, also Rufus and such. So it was good to see again like a tie back to something we had seen before, but not for a while. So again, I thought the Cole character was pretty good, and we found out more of a backstory about him in the military and his connection with some guys he knew. So this is pretty good. I thought they were going to kill off Cole in the episode, but I think they kind of kill characters a little bit too often when they introduce them. So it's good to see that Cole actually does manage to make it out of it, albeit barely. But yeah, this is a pretty good one. Episode 16, Paint It Black. Sam investigate strange suicides and murders that are being committed by people who attend the same Catholic church. And this is a fine one, kind of deals with faith. I mean, get a decent scene about Dean and confession and such, if I'm remembering correctly. But, kind of a more standard episode as opposed to some of the other ones we got this season. Episode 17, Inside Man. While Dean has a confrontation with Rowena, Sam and Castillo team up with Bobby to break Matron out of Heaven's prison. Very good episode, very cool surprise seeing Bobby again. I still feel like they should find a way to bring back Bobby, or they shouldn't have killed Bobby to begin with. I know it's kind of like the nature of the world, and they have to do that once in a while to keep it, keep us on our toes or whatever, but excuse me. It was just awesome seeing Bobby again. They needed his help. We see, he's pretty much just sitting back and, reading and drinking beer, so that's good. But it's cool to see him actually break out of heaven. For a second, I was hoping he'd actually come out on the other side with them and be back again for a while. That would have worked well. But I did appreciate that they found a way to tie him back into the story in a way that made sense in their world and such. And he leaves him a letter at the end that sort of explains, his choice and such. Yeah. Yeah, like Bobby advises Sam not to go behind Dean's back because there might be one hell of a price, but he also says he knows that Sam will make the right choice because he's a good man and Bobby's proud of him. Sam is moved to tears. And then that's when Hannah and some of the other angels come in, and he doesn't really look at them, and he's looking at a picture of Sam and Dean smiling. So it was thought that he was going to pay some kind of price for doing what he did. So maybe this is a way we'll get to see him again somehow, although they better not, actually, kill Bobby for good or anything like that, because he's still out there in a way. But yeah, so good episode just for Bobby alone, really. Book of the Damned, another pretty good one. Let's see. Just hold on a second, guys. Just trying to make sure I remember certain things about the episode. Okay, I'm just getting a little bit confused about something. Just give me a second, guys. Even though I doubt you guys have watched this much of the video. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting so confused about this now. Okay, but yeah, this is it. We'll talk about this in a second. I just thought a certain thing that Charlie happened in this episode, but I was wrong. But we get Charlie involved in it again with the Book of the Damned and such. And I thought the Stein family, they were decent sort of mini villains for the season. I thought they kind of worked better than some others. And what they ended up doing with Charlie, I'll talk about in a second. Episode 19, the Werther Project, was fine. Rowena, trying to get the help of Rowena in decoding the Book of the Damned, along with Charlie and such. Sam learns like Codex is hidden away in a magical vault by the former Men of Letters, Magnus. But yeah, this is an alright episode. I just can't count on every single one. Sorry. Episode 20, Angel Heart. Really good episode. Again, we get to see Claire again, who I said is a character and actress I really do enjoy on the show. Claire is injured while trying to track her missing mother down. Castiel calls on Sam and Dean to try and help aid Claire's search, leading to a confrontation with Grigori, a class of angel who they thought were wiped out. And so her mother then disappears. She was taken and being used for a while. And, kind of predictably, her mother ends up sacrificing herself to save Claire and dies. But, we get a sort of improved dynamic between Claire, the brothers, and Castiel. Her and Castiel left things on a slight better note, with Claire saying they could contact each other at some point. She'd like that. And, for helping her find her mother, she is more appreciative to Dean and Sam and such. So she does seem to more genuinely like them now. So good, very good episode, actually. And, episode 21, Dark Dynasty. This, I'll just say it, Charlie is killed off at the end of this episode. She's able to, decode it and is able to send the file out, but one of the Stein members end up cornering her in the bathroom and killing her, and Dean and Sam find her dead body in the bathtub, and I was kind of surprised by that. I had heard that Charlie isn't around anymore. Kind of curious to see how they'd kill her off, but I don't know if they should have, really. I don't think they should have really killed Charlie, really, because I really liked the little sister dynamic she had with the brothers, and I wanted more scenes with her and Castiel or something. She's just a good character to have around a few times every season, I thought. And, maybe they could even made her into a more supporting character like Castiel or something. I would have been kind of fine with it, honestly. And the way they did it, there's some issues with it. Like, could there have been like a window that she could have got out of or something? I don't know. Again, it's realistic to the world. People, they care about are going to die and such, but I don't know. I just wish more people would be around other than Dean, Sam, Castiel, and, Crowley. They can have someone else too. But yeah, it's still impactful. It was a bit darker than I thought it would be. It's finding her dead in the bathtub sort of reminded me of Dexter, with a certain character on that in season 4. Although not quite as adult, with the way they find her, but still kind of a very sad, shocking sight to see her like that. And this completely drives Dean over the edge. And he is captured by the Stein family in episode 22, Prisoner, which is a very good episode. But he actually does break out and just slaughters all of them, which is really awesome to see. He's completely driven by, both the mark and, wanting to avenge Charlie. And he blames Sam for Sam sort of like roping her in on the case. But Charlie wanted to help, is kind of her choice as well. But yeah, very good episode 22. And I also loved Crowley in this episode. When Sam actually tries to, contain him, and then kill him for Rowena, as part of their deal. We get to see the true power of Crowley in this, with his eyes going red and him just, being able to pull out the marked bullet. And we see how much he's really been holding back, how easy he has actually gone on the brothers, because when he's like this, he's pretty much unstoppable. And if he wanted to kill them, he very well could, I think. So I hope we see more of Crowley like this in the future. And it is kind of weird that he doesn't always go into this mode, like when he has issues with other, beings. Why doesn't he just do this and just dominate everyone? I don't know. But still a very, very awesome scene. Mark Sheppard is very good. But yeah, so very good episode overall. And episode 23, the finale, Brother's Keeper, very good episode. Some say it gets a little bit repetitive with Sam and Dean being at odds and such, and it is a formula the show does have. I still think they're fairly creative, with the ways they come with it, and it does feel legitimate to how the characters feel. Watching a PS4 game download, 24 hours left apparently. But anyway. And this is probably one of the most impactful confrontations between the brothers in a while. With Dean, he gets another 100 kills. He realizes that his only hope in stopping the Mark of Cain is summoning death, an act which comes with repercussions for himself and Sam. And so basically a deal is made that Dean will be put elsewhere, and he doesn't want it to be passed on. So Sam would need to be. I'm forgetting some details of this deal, but they end up getting into a fight, which is actually pretty intense. Sam doesn't really fight back too much, and Sam tries to reach out to the good in Dean, saying that the real him, like the true him that he knows, is nothing but good. He's trying to bring back like that belief in Dean that he does have some good in him. That I'm kind of stumbling on my words here, but make Dean see there is still good in himself. And we see that supposedly the death of Death in this as well, when Dean turns on him and stabs him with a scythe, and Death sort of just looks at him and disintegrates. I thought that was weird, very anticlimactic for the character. That's one of the other only issues I have with the season. They killed off Death. I always thought he was played pretty well. They had the perfect actor in the role. So I don't really know why, but it was okay. Like I said, I like the incredible acting between Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles as always. And then we get a pretty good cliffhanger as well, with the darkness being unleashed, and we get sort of a pretty good CGI, although CGI sight. It was still pretty nice, pretty cool seeing all this black mist or fog, or clouds, coming all over. The sky and everything, and the brothers getting engulfed in it while they're in the Impala. So a pretty daunting sight for a TV show, I thought. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Season 10 of Supernatural, and hey, we almost kept it to 20 minutes. But yeah, sorry for the length of this video, but overall I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I liked it about as much as Season 9, I think. Although I could go back and forth on both of them, I think. As far as what I'd rate this season, probably about a B+, A-, similar to what I rated Season 9, I think. Yeah, let me just look real quick. Yeah, I gave a B+ to Season 9, so I give this one about B+, A- as well. Supernatural's still highly enjoyable. It's just an awesome show all around. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.